Hey guys, it's Bobby, your big gay trucker with LGBTQ plus Truck Driver Network. And today we're going to go live a little bit later than normal for the Big Gay Trucker Show. But we have Jean Ann, and Jean Ann has been a part of our organization from the beginning and has helped me with other things along the way. So she puts up with my craziness. So we're continuing to talk and introduce you guys to all of the people that makes LGBTQ plus Truck Driver Network possible. So we'd like to welcome Jean Ann.
Hello.
So
you have to put up with me
a little bit, it's not that bad. But so basically there's a little bit of lag on our video today, you guys. So we will work with it, and I think it's just where she's at. But so go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the industry.
All right. My name is Jean, trucking since 2001. And I started, with CRST, worked at Interstate Distributor, then Night Trans. I teamed with the owner-operator with Reliable Trans. Then I did solo with Gordon Trucking and World with Canada a lot. Then I carried a gun with a company and that was like its own adventure. Then I went, did like a limb for like 7 months. And that's when I was like, man, I could do this. And I got my own truck and I paid it off. And I still have that truck. So and now I'm leased to trailer train only. And that's basically a summation of my career.
Well, I don't really know if they're going to be able to. So let's see if we can fix this. So basically, let me see if your earbuds may be the problem. I don't know if it's the earbuds, but we're having lag really bad. So let's try to see if we can fix that for a minute.
Is that better?
It's better on my end. So everybody else, see what Jess says. Maybe. We'll try to go on a little bit more. So basically, in trucking, how did you become a part of the organization? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I was part of a prior organization to this one, and I feel that I'd like to give back and show everybody that we are, good drivers doing all the hard work just like everyone else, and industry can be like really high vibe. And I joined because I wanted to be part of, to be able to be part of sharing the positive aspects, but also to support everybody in whatever they believe in and be going on in certain things. I just want to be like a general support to all my friends, positive influence.
Right. So I know that you, one of the things that you love to do is you're following your path of spirituality, and you love to share that with others. And so tell us a little bit about that, if it's okay.
Yes. About 6 years ago, I studied with a meditation teacher. And so my life before that, I was just like happy-go-lucky trucker. But I really sort of like from a lot of different things. Like I don't really hardly listen to the news much anymore. I really so I meditate in the morning, then I meditate again at night, and stay out of the harshness of the world as much as I can. And I'm really trying to find union with my own higher self through a lot of other practices and stuff. And that's sort of I'd like to go even deeper into that area of my life, and so that's where I spend most of my time.
And that's good. We all have to, when on the road, we all have to find our own way with dealing with the emotions and the stress and everything. So, putting it into a spiritual vibe and a higher vibe is just a really good way to put all that stuff on a shelf and deal with it, because it's very hard to deal with um, the stress of the road and the loads and all this stuff. So it's very easy to want to throw your headset and cuss at somebody, but at the same time, being able to enjoy the road and do like you do. I know that there's a lot of things that I love that you do, which is you'll stop and you'll like go do live videos of like a hike or like a hiking trail behind like rest areas and stuff. And I love that. I love that you're very techy and fun about things like that and sharing your experiences on the road. So tell us a little bit about that. And then also, like, do you have a favorite place that you like to go?
All right. Well, it all kind of trucking. I didn't have like a family. I don't have kids. I have had others, but I've been, single for most of it. And I've spent all that extra time that I do other stuff with, like teaching myself techie stuff, like listening to tons and tons, teaching myself how to do video creation. I probably have every app for the iPhone for anything that has to do with audio, music, and video. But that's where I've spent my time. But it's actually coming, like I've actually been able to, and I really want to use all that to apply it to what we do here. And love nature. Like I'm totally a nature person. I love inside of the US. Whenever I'm pointed west and I'm gonna go, if I'm headed toward California, I'm happy. I mean, I'm from California. I have nothing bad to say about. Everybody doesn't like California, but I love California. I always will. And when the roads are dangerous, I want to be like in the middle of nowhere. And so this would be like the desert. Like if I'm in the middle of nowhere in a roadside turnout, that's where I'm the happiest.
No, I mean that's cool. So would you rather be at a roadside stop in the middle of nowhere than basically at like a truck stop or something? Do you not really like the truck stops or try to stay away from them?
Do use truck stops. I stick with the big truck stops. I'm pretty like the mom and pops, but I'm like the opposite. I stay with like the Loves, the TAs, and the Flying J's and Pilots, and I rarely do mom and pops. And I usually, so I can park by 4 p.m. and that way I always have like a good choice. Was picky about that. But when I'm out, as long as I have enough food and everything, I might make my last like stop before I stop, have everything I need for the night. But then I might prefer that rest area because it's like, okay, I can get a walk in or a hike in, and where a lot of drivers, they don't prefer the rest area, and they
Right.
the last place they want to sow.
No, I get it. I try to stay away from the truck stops a lot. We go there, but then at the same time, I'd rather be at a rest area or somewhere a little bit more rural area. I you know, on the road, life can be interesting at times. So for you, how long have you been on the road?
I started in 2001, but I did have a 5-year break, 2003 to maybe 2008 road. Then I came back on the road.
Okay. Um, so you have about 20 years.
It's getting close to 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right around 20 years. So, in the time that you've been in the industry, what have you seen change in the differences? And has it been good or bad?
Well, I mean, obviously, we were just running 10-hour shifts, and you could do like a split shift, like a 5 and 5. You had paper logs, and you could pretty much and just like redo a log and just be as creative as you wanted to. Company didn't audit them. You pretty much got away with it, and so you didn't have certain stress. Like there was no 14-hour clock back then and stuff. And so as long as you just you felt like, well, if I can't find parking here and I'm gonna go over my driving until you finally found that parking spot, and then you would just back date on the log. It looked like you anyway. We were really creative, and I work 14-hour clock, but I don't mind the whole ELD thing. I just don't. I think the rule, and then the ELD, I don't think would be an issue as long as we had like. But then again, some people, they're not going to like the ELD no matter what, because they would drive, and they don't want anyone to tell them when they can and can't drive. But I don't mind the 14-hour clock.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I just like it because I don't know any different. So I don't like when my EOD goes down or like Qualcomm goes down or whatever. I'm like, oh, I gotta like do the paperwork, and I don't want to do all the paperwork because I'm just so used to that automatic thing that it does everything for you that like it's the ease of access for me. But yet I know people out here hate it, and it's just like, but it's all I've ever known. So for me, it's just easy, So how do you manage life on the road and life at home? I know that even though because you are still very family oriented and enjoy your time with your family. So how do you manage that?
Have that family time until like the last 5 years. Prior to that, I months at a time, and I always just sort of like lived in my truck, not to pay rent, because I didn't have kids. I didn't have anybody at careers, so why would I pay for rent? And I didn't feel like buying a house, so I was mad. But then 5 years ago, like my whole family, and now even though I still live in the truck, I use my family's address, but I try to get there like once a month, or like I pass through Houston and I just stop. That's the last 5 years of the first time in my career that I've actually made and had family time. And now I really love that family going home, even though I actually sleep on the couch when I get there because I don't even have my own room, like this nomad who lives in the truck, but I do have a strong support me, and that really does help me out here. I think that I have that, and of course, if you don't have like an Earth family, then hopefully, maybe like we could all become their family. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you just have to find a family, be blessed to have, a family that, does support me, but makes life much, much better when you have support out here.
Right. I mean, I feel that, there's a lot of people that, like you, live in their truck, but a lot of people don't have places to go home to. So, that's what I feel the page provides, is a network for people to talk to each other. And then there's chat groups along with the network. And there's all these different areas where people maybe don't feel so alone. And so I think it's a wonderful thing, what we've blossomed into and growing into being. And we're getting ready to go back to Matt's again. We're working hard towards going to the Mid America Truck Show again. we just had some finances back to back that we didn't really expect. So that's one of the things. And Jeannie Ann helps with that. Jeannie Ann is the one cool thing is like Jeannie Ann got me into, so I do a lot of the videos on the page, but Jeannie Ann does videos too. And so she was the one that taught me about LumaFusion and a couple other software. And LumaFusion is my go-to. I absolutely love LumaFusion. I love Canva, a couple other products, but LumaFusion, you can do so much stuff. And I'm still am learning about like phasing in, phasing out, but I know you like the techie products and stuff too. So like, tell us a little bit about that. Like, what do you do in your truck, and how do you? Because I know you've got like your scooter, and you've got so many different things, just like me. So like, it's toys and gadgets. So how does that fit into your life as well? So.
Right. Okay. So, well, my whole career stuff. So, like, I've had, I have my second exercise smaller one from Walmart, but now I have a fancy one. It's like my passenger seat, so I could put it there. It's like 100 pounds. Have this off-road scooter that you stand up on that has like handles, and it's the whole idea is I can just sort of like, if I go to the truck show this time, and if it's not freezing like last time, ride around the lot with it. And
Right.
I haven't had as much fun with it as I planned to, but believe me, when it comes to software, like I just buy stuff. Like I'll buy it without, and over time, I've learned what works, what doesn't, really fast now. Being like, which app do I go to do what I need to do? All kinds of different apps that can do different things, and I can put together little things like special effect together, like an idea pretty fast. And I have some microphones on the truck. I have a bunch of, the idea is that after all these years, I do a lot of fun stuff, but now is the time to really put it to use more on art. That's sort of like where it's all been leading. And
Right.
I'm finally getting like, but I feel like I'm really ready to, like, let's just go for it. Let's more live videos, more fun videos, and let's really do it.
Yeah, no, I get it, and that's been my vision all along, is to go bigger and bigger, and as everybody gets comfortable with who they are and what they're able to show the world, and because everybody, that's one part about being a part of the page. I'm always trying to influence everybody to show who they are, whether it is what part of the LGBTQ spectrum you are, or just your life on the road, or family and friends, or I'm trying to bridge that gap and let everybody understand that we're just drivers like everyone else, doing this and enjoying the road, and we learn and we mess up, and we go back to the drawing board and learn again, and it's just an ongoing thing. We're just like everyone else, and we pull the crappy loads and then the good loads, and so it's just we sit on the dock doors all just like everyone else. It's nothing different, there really isn't. And no matter who you love, whether they're sex or gender, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. So that's why I like interviewing all the drivers and letting people see a peek inside of someone else's truck, a peek inside of someone else's life. So with that being said, for you, um, how do you identify as a part of the community?
Well, back in the day, like when I first started trucking, I would have just but now over the years, things have gotten kind of tricky when it comes to, I still consider myself pretty old school,
Mm-hmm.
but through a lot of different labels out there, and I feel like at this, like, I'm more pansexual than anything, and demisexual. I feel so weird just even saying them out loud because in my everyday life, I'm so focused on my spirituality and so focused on these other things that it's sort of like I left that whole young part of me behind, like flags on the back of my cars in the early days. And I used to have, it's like when I got in the truck, I became disconnected with general LGBTQ plus community. Now, not everybody does. I mean, there's no get in a truck and stay perfectly connected. It's just that in my story, I started to get disconnected, and I got so disconnected that even just the concept of like labels didn't really apply doing anything in my life where I really even needed them. It wasn't until a few years ago that when I wanted to get involved and I showed you and Shelly and everything at the truck show, and that thing started, that was like a big deal for me, right? Because I had been for so long that now it was like I was trying to reconnect. I don't even have the right language to speak with the younger people because
I get it. No, I do. And, and I remember that day. She's like, I sat in my truck and I wasn't going to come over here. She said, and then she finally came over and we spent the whole evening laughing and talking and having fun and getting to know each other. But it just took, she was like, I sat in my truck and I really didn't think I was going to come over here. And, but she did. I'm so glad she did. We had a lot of fun. And, and I feel that, the group does help with a lot of things. And, I really never thought of it as, but I guess you're right. I mean, I could see where people could get in that bubble inside of their truck. And, I'm always saying that I want to connect the trucking world to the LGBTQ world and bridge that gap. But I think also that bridge goes both ways, because there is maybe a lot of people that feel like you, that they've got in a truck and then they don't deal with any of that. So they kind of, and not meaning, it's not that they don't support anything, but it's just, it's not a part of their everyday life. So they don't, deal with it so much. So I think we're bridging that gap both directions, kind of. For people to be able to feel safe. Because I do tell people all the time, take a minute, go out, get out of your truck. It's always good to get out of your truck. And if you're parked somewhere, it's so easy now to just Uber over and have a drink and watch a drag show or whatever the situation may be. And so yeah, I kind of, now that talking to you, that we're kind of bridging it both directions. So, which is a good thing. It is a good thing. And a lot of people, there were not so many labels, and I understand that too. Now there is so many flags and so many labels, and I think there's even a label for not having a label. Like there's labels for everything. And it's fine. It's just it gets confusing at times, and you feel a little disconnected from being in the truck all the time, and you're not really a part of the social world sometimes. And I find it overwhelming. Like today, I will tell you, I have been updating things today, and just with updating all the social platforms and updating the web page and updating LGBTQ vetted and all the different, it is so overwhelming to go through. I have said, like when we started this, Jeannie Ann was like, you look tired. And I was like, I have just been sitting here in front of the screen basically all day. So, and that's what I've been doing, is just sitting here and adding the new vetted companies and things like that. And it doesn't sound like that much, but I swear, I feel like I've put 8 hours of work in today, just sitting here and updating things. We're so techie sometimes that it gets stressful. I feel, I don't know. So
But you come along well, like the live stream and everything. That's been a long time coming. So you're doing a good job. Like we're doing with it. So
yeah, I enjoy the live stream. I like the fact that it goes active on all the platforms at the same time. So with doing that, we're gaining more and more followers, and more people are watch it. A lot of the people sometimes don't watch as much when we're actually live. We only get sometimes 7, 10, 20 people watching when live. But at the same time, through the week, by the time the next video comes out for next Saturday, we literally will have anywhere from 3 to 9,000 viewers that's viewed the videos. So it's kind of cool. It's a cool process, and we're just growing. So do you have, we're going to talk a little bit about things going on in the world right now. And so do you have any views on all these bills and the drag queen laws and all the things that they're trying to do right now? Do you have any view on that, or any?
I'm certainly disheartened. And I feel like back when I was heavily connected with the community, I felt such a wonderful place, and it felt like full freedom, and it didn't feel anything low. And I feel like I can feel pain in my heart, like how it feels like it's going back, how the sense of safety has gone down.
Right.
And I don't know about every specific bill because I'm spiritual aspect of it all. So I can do things like meditate that I feel actually do help. And I support all of you guys. Some of you are very closely connected to like the drag community and everything. Like, so if you guys have very specific things that you want to do, want to support you and follow you, and just like whatever you feel you need to do. And I feel like my role is more support, dating the specifics of each thing. I sort of just want to focus on the spiritual part of it all.
Right. I mean, I really don't feel that anybody gets hurt with the power of prayer and praying for someone, or saying a little prayer for someone. And definitely now in our culture and everything going on in society, I feel that it's very, very important that we all connect together and try to make a difference, because I feel that we are stepping backwards and not forward. Unfortunately, I don't understand why all these laws and everything are coming together right now, but it's, you can change it and you can try the best you can, but it definitely I've seen a lot of people here recently that are attacking each other within the community, and that's not really the answer to anything. We need to stand together and be together on the forefront of this, because that's the only way I feel a change will happen. And so, I mean, everybody, whether someone's, you may not be the one out there with a pride flag or a picket sign, but you still will be praying for these people and praying for a change and praying that these rights do not get taken away from people.
Right. And I might also have a camera and be like of it.
Right.
But I do stay a little detached. But it's there. It's just that the way that I respond to it is more of a.
Now, we are going to take an intermission a second, and the reason we are is I'm going to show you guys a video. We're going to be having Hold on one second. Sorry. Jess, is that tomorrow at 2 o'clock? I'm going to ask Jess since he's on here. Since he is on here, we will just ask him. We have a lady that we're going to be interviewing tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and I'm trying to remember her name. Because what was her name again? What was her name again? Kim Spoon. Yes, Kim. She is a person that was brought to our attention. She's absolutely wonderful, and I started following her on TikTok, and then we started following her a couple of different things. So I'm going to share this video and for a second. So we'll be right back, you guys.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of the day to show up. But you're going to have to start showing up more! Yeah! We've been quiet for too long. These assholes are hiding behind Christianity. Yeah! They are not Christians! I am so tired of all of this horrific legislation coming out of Nashville, doing it in the name of Jesus. Protect our children. Give me a break. We've got children sleeping on the floor in DCS offices. Was that the number one bill? Was that the priority? Transgender care, drag shows, that's the priority of the Tennessee General Assembly when we've got people actually suffering in this state. Don't you think Jesus would be worried about the children sleeping in DCS offices with nowhere to go? Fascism is here, and we need to call it what it is. We've got to point it out, call it out. Fascism and fake Christians. The Tennessee Senate just passed SB 1. Their priority to hurt other people. Shame! 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 Shame!
So this is a video that I don't know, I get speechless. I'm not speechless often, but I am. I just there's so many people that it affects that is so dear to my heart. And I don't feel it will stop here. It's not going to stop here. We're going to see more and more control, and because they know that they can get by with it, and they're getting by with it because we're not banding together to make the difference. And so I'm looking very forward to speaking to Kim tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and I hope everybody tunes in for that. I just wanted to share that a little bit because I don't know, it's just so important to me. It's just so important. One of our members said something to me before all of this, before these bills and everything came up and it was voted or anything. And I feel we live in a society that right now the younger generation right now doesn't really know how hard it really has been in the 80s, in the 90s. And I know they feel that they have it bad now. But the thing was, there's so many things and so many freedoms that we have right now. And I just don't want all that to be reversed. And I really feel that's what's happening. There's so many things being reversed. And I think that, it's time for the younger generation to realize that they need to stand up. They need to stand up. When the person from the group sat and told me, that's not going to pass. That's not going to pass. We've come too far and that's not going to pass. And now, we have a Roe versus Wade. We have all these different things that's been reversed and the rights for everybody. And I feel that there's so many things, and it's time for us to band together and make a difference. The only way you're ever going to have anything happen, and I'm not saying riots, and I'm not saying all that crazy stuff. You can do things through peace, and you can do things, but you still get your point across. I don't know. We have semi trucks. Let's show up at the capitals and honk our horns and make our voices be known. I don't know. I don't know what the specific thing to do is, but I know that we're going to have to make our voices be heard to make a difference and a change. And otherwise, they're going to take these things away from us. Right now, there is bills being proposed even to, religious belief, that someone can, due to their religious belief, they can refuse refuse to help you, and they can refuse to marry you if you are African American wanting to marry a white person. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just like they can completely refuse for all these reasons. And it's just turning back time to a point where I feel that, yes, we have had it easier than people think we have, but it's time to this generation, the new generation of people, and queens and all the people and people who are transgender, just everybody, every part of our community, and the people that comes and watches the shows. There's so many people that's been silent. That's something that's really bothered me is, as a queen myself, one of the first people and the people that loved us the most when doing shows was the straight moms. The moms would go out and their husband would be home and watching the kids, or they'd get a babysitter and they both come. In your time of trucking, I feel that we've done a lot of changes, and being the very first LGBTQ organization in 50 years to set up at Mid-America Truck Show, and we're going back this year. Like, how do you feel? What do you think that the steps are that we need to do to make ourselves be heard right now, to go against these laws and to try to help as much as possible? I mean, do you think? I know that you are very spiritual, but at the same time, you have to band together. So,
right. I think a lot of videos could be made. There's a time and a place for everything. I mean, even the nuns in The Sound of Music, out of the car,
right,
so that the Nazis couldn't go after the family, in a place for everything. I mean, but I believe that I go deep into meditation, then I feel like I ask for a solution. In moment, a solution will come. It's my job, being me, to stay positive. It's like war outside, like I have to keep that positivity that there are solutions. And I believe that should be spread to not fear. There are solutions, but also there's a place for anger. There's a place for everybody to respond in the way that they need to respond. But I would think more media is needed. Like, that's a powerful clip that you just shared. I mean, I can feel the pain. It's symptomatic of something that's very, and it's, feels very threatening.
Right.
And so my spirituality, I would basically take that for wisdom on how to deal with it in moment. But I think that the use of media is paramount. So that particular video, they produce it in such a way that it's very, and so those kind of impactful videos of all, just different leaders speaking out, even you're trying to say, like, we should make our own videos with you, very impactful statement from your perspective, and start spreading those videos. My solution is to use media, and we need more videos that are just as powerful as the one that you shared.
Yeah, when I saw that video, we, Jess, me, Derek, like pretty much all of us that I shared it with, but I didn't share it with you. So I know that was the very first time that you had saw it, and so I was like, I'm gonna save this so that you could see it live, because I wanted because I know that you absorb things like that, and you appreciate video and the way people shoot things, and so I know that you would feel the full message, and so I kind of saved that for you a little bit, because it's just something that has like captivated me ever since I saw this. And she is just an amazing person, and I am so honored that she's agreed to come and talk to us. So yeah, that will be tomorrow at 2:00. But I just wanted to show you that too, because I know that you're always moved and touched by media, and especially even when it's done even in an art form way, you can always appreciate it. And so I loved that video. But she has a couple other TikToks and other things on there, and it's just amazing what they're doing. But I feel that, it can't just stop with one person. It's like me, I do the same thing with the group. I'm always trying to promote people to share and help and band together, and together we can make a difference, and we're going to pave a new road, and we're going to do these different things. And little by little, we've done that, and we're doing that in trucking, in an industry that does not accept us at all. And a very, very male dominant industry at that. And I know that for you over the years, that's even been like, how did you deal with that, even with being in a very male dominant industry?
When I started, I didn't give it a help. I came from a family that didn't really tell me I couldn't go truck my life, to tell me, oh, you can't do that because you're a woman. So when I started to believe that I could do anything, and it wasn't easy. I mean, and it certainly is male dominated, but just sort of knowing the fact that I was female, I was more like I was focusing on the fact that I just truck driver. So if anybody came in my way and sort of tried to block me or gave whatever, I would just forget about it. Like I would notice it, but I had a lot of people that give me compliments over the years. Like even in my early years when I was still in the guys would come over and be like, I love seeing a woman back and everything, and I would say there was more positive than negative, but even to this day, like I'm a gal, so I certainly don't rub it in anyone's face. I really, really just on my task at hand. Like each load is a mission, and I I'm not thinking mission. I'm just thinking I have a mission, and I just need to make this. And so I guess what I could say is I never really focused on that thing. I was just always on a mission.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I get it, because like being on a mission and doing things, so you focus on your job and you get it done. And you do your whole trucking rocks thing, because I know you love saying that, but and you share all your stuff, and I think that for you, one of the things that inspires me the most is you don't ever look at things as I'm a woman doing something, or I'm a lesbian, or I'm pansexual. It may be a part of your life, a part of you, but it's a small part of who you are. And if a person really tunes in to find out who you really are and takes the special time to get to know you, then they see so much more beyond that spectrum of things. And so it always inspires me. Every one of our group members, every one of them has these special things about them, and I see it in them. And that's what makes our group so special. We don't always get along. And everybody knows that I will tell you off in a heartbeat. We've had that discussion, but and it happens. But at the end of the day, we're adult enough to understand, and we're adult enough to realize that it doesn't end a friendship, and it doesn't, I should be able to, and you should be able to tell me how you truly feel about something. And we've come to the drawing board many times, me and you, about, okay, so what do we go from here, and what's going to make you feel better? What's going to make you feel better? And I think that is what makes someone not a leader, but instead standing beside you and empowering you to be better. You guys always say that I'm like the leader of the group or whatever, and I really don't look at it that way. I want to stand beside you, and we walk together, and we make a difference together on things. And there's moments that I have weakness, and a lot of people may not feel that way, but I do. There's moments that I have weakness too, and I find my strength through the people that I surround myself with. And my trucker family is amazing. Trucker families are awesome. Do we get along 24/7? No, but that's okay. That's just a part of being human, or alien, however you identify. Jean Ann is my alien, if you want to know. I always say that she is my little alien in her own little solar system, orbiting out there somewhere doing her own thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like
Right, but then again, I have to say, it helped me, because I felt like I don't fit in a lot, and a lot of times it's sort of let me go, because I feel like I'm just like this outcast. Sometimes just like I think of things in a different way, and it's not your typical way, and some they're not like really, like I would say, a huge fan of, but even every time I wanted to just like I don't want to do your thing. I don't want to be like, I don't want to hold you back because I am me, but you've never like
no.
Even if
I don't ever count anyone out, I don't. I always try to find a spot for someone to make them. I want everyone to feel included. I don't want anyone to just leave or do something else. I mean, I will support you in whatever you want, but once you're my family, you're my family. That's how I feel. It's like forever, and I will help in any way that I can. And I think that's what makes things happen. And that's what we need to do in society today, is treat it the same way. I don't care if, like even here in Bowling Green right now, there's a little bit of things going on, and some of the drag queens are fighting with each other or saying nasty things. And right now is not the time for it. Right now is the time that we need to bury the hatchet and and just, move on. And we have so many things that are so more important right now going on, and rights being taken away and bills being introduced. And we need to be proactive about helping any way we can to make these things change to where they don't happen. So
I think it takes all kinds. I mean, it takes the activists, but then leaders, and then you also have different people that play different. The best thing we can do is just figure out how to bring all of our roles together, and like you said, come together and take some action. I mean, I have some ideas and everything for videos. I'm just like you, probably yelling in rage or anything, but there's ways that you can respond to something that are very firm, but they're also very loving. And if you know how to word things, then you can really make and really touch people. So I think that all of us, we just need to pool together. I think that we can really make some good impact.
Yep, I totally agree. Well, we pretty much made it to our hour. So is there anything you'd like to say to anybody before we close out the show today?
I just want to say thank everyone for not giving up on me over the years and everything, and you guys mean a lot to me, and just I'm feeling good about the future, and I feel like everything is awesome. So I mean, even though there's challenges, I think that there's some awesomeness that we need to take hold of too.
Okay, sounds good to me. So, all right, well, thank you, Jean Ann, and you have a good evening, and we will talk to you soon again.
All right, adios.
All right, you guys, so that kind of wraps up everything for me. So be sure to come in tomorrow and watch our interview at 2:00. So I'll be back again. I've kind of been teaming up with multiple people on the weekends. So, and then I know that Derek and Jess and Tabitha and Katie and pretty much and Jean Ann and Vivian, all of them, Alyssa, Trooper, all of them pretty much are going to be starting to host Big Gay Trucker. So it won't just be me all the time. But so little by little, we are adding more things, doing more things. You're going to see us at Mid-America Truck Show again this year for the second time. And we're not stopping. We're going ahead. So like I told Jean Ann, I have spent pretty much the whole day. So also go ahead and check out LGBTQvetted.com and LGBTQtruckdrivernetwork.com. And all of our pages have been updated a little bit with our pictures, and then all of the companies, we've added Taz Trucking and RXO, and we have added Highfield Trucking, and I've been working really, really hard to get all these wonderful, wonderful people aligned up to be a part of a safe place for people to work who are within the LGBTQIA+ community. And so we thank you so much for all the hard support and all the hard work that everybody's been making to make this happen. This is our PayPal link up in the top corner. We are still about $900 shy of making some of the things for Matt's happen. And but besides that, that is it. So we do have other ways to, which is PayPal, and we do have Cash App and a couple other ways. So if you do not have PayPal, there's a couple other ways to donate as well, Zelle and a couple other things like that. So just message the group and we will help you out with that. So I thank you again for all your support. We're going to be moving forward with a couple Pride events and a couple other places all throughout the year. And this is not going to be our only truck show that we hit on. So with all that being said, you're probably tired of hearing me ramble on. So we thank you again so much. It's your Big Gay Trucker, and everybody have a great evening.